Alright, we are here, and this is Bunsen Born. Oh.
All
Bunsen.
right.
This is Buns for Borning.
Bunsen Borner.
Bunsen.
This is Bunsen Borner.
There you go, they said it. Episode
Yeah.
104. And, yeah, I'm here with everyone you expect. No delays on our end, no call outs. We don't do that anymore, guys, right?
Yep, we're fucking sick of it.
Call outs. Did we have call outs recently?
There's some Fredless episodes.
I know there are some. I don't remember what the last one was. I think the last one was right before we went on break. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But it worked out because we can't do clean feed with 4 people anymore.
Yeah, we had that, and then I just remember Heedless, or no, Heaven's Gate, because they had the song Fredless too, which was instrumental.
Sir.
But yeah, what's going on with you guys' weeks?
From Fred first, because I know he's brimming with a.
Oh
He's
yeah,
brimming with stuff to say.
You did something.
Brimming with excitement.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling Paul before he got here, Dan, we're looking at another postal strike in Canada, which
Another
is
one. Okay.
irritating. Yeah, well, the last one never got solved, right? They got forced back to work.
Get
and
back to work.
pretty much. So they were told to get back to work and resolve it later because it was in the middle of frickin' Christmas. So now is that later. So they gave notice of strike unless something changes, and I don't expect anything will change. So that is going to be as of Friday, I think. They will be going on strike.
So what did they expect? They're like, they're not gonna do it, but they already did it, and then they're like, we don't really need them. But then they felt the hurt the last time. So they just
Yeah, I don't know,
give them
man.
what they want, or compromise or something.
Yeah, like, I don't know a ton about the conflict, but by the sounds of it, they don't get paid much, and they should be getting paid a lot more. So,
Yeah, they're going through the snow and all that.
yeah.
Sweltering Canadian summer.
Riding mooses through the what meese mooses?
It's actually pronounced Mises to pieces. I hate
The plural of moose is just moose. Fun fact. Moose is just moose. Geese is
Just
the plural of goose. But did you guys know that fishes is actually a word?
yeah, sleep with the fishes.
Wishes for fishes.
Well, if you have a fish, that's fine. If you have multiple fish, that's fine. But if you have several different types of fish, they're fishes.
I tried to look up the word fishes as a dictionary definition, and it doesn't work. It just comes up with the word fish. First thing I see, a limbless, cold-blooded vertebrate animal with gills and fins. Okay.
Makes it
And
sound
then in
really harsh.
quotations, the sea is thick with fish.
All right, no sushi this week.
Thick with fish. That's the worst line.
Well, Fred, didn't you happen to go to a show?
I did go to a show this week, which will coincide quite nicely with my collection update. That's basically the entire thing. Yeah, I went to see.
Dang, I wonder if all the bands are like all the outer towners, their locals are like, yo, there's one guy he'll just buy everything you got. Just look out for him. He has a reincarnation patch.
Yeah, fact. And that's kind of what I did. So I saw Aerithright Throne as the opener, and this is basically a dungeon synth project. And I've seen him before. I'd seen him open for, I think, Knocklich, but it's the kind of thing where you kind of just want to sit on a couch and close your eyes to listen to, you know? It's, yeah, he's pretty good. His releases are just bonkers. Like, he's got, like, I don't know how many fucking albums released in, like, I don't know, 6 years or something.
So that band's not allowed on Metal Archives, right?
They are, actually, because they have some black metal albums.
I don't see them. Erudite Throne?
Erythrite Throne. So Erythrite.
Did you say AR?
ER.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I was looking through the A's. Erythrite Throne. There it is. There it is.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
like this.
Go on.
They've been around since 2018, and their discography is looks like Sabat's. Like it's bonkers.
Get a life, Erythrite Throne.
I wonder how difficult it is to compose and release Dungeon Synth.
I got a couple albums I'm sitting on.
Huh.
If you can
too.
play the keyboards, I imagine you could kind of just you can noodle around and probably come up with like 2 albums in like I don't know 5 hours or something, maybe.
What
less.
if you can't? Could I pull it off?
You could. I mean, I came up with an intro once, but it was like maybe 2 changing parts and maybe 30-40 seconds. Took a little while to learn. I don't play keyboards, but I had to figure something out.
I think if I released Dungeon Synth, it would wind up sounding like the beginning of the first Morningstar album, or the finished one. Over and over again.
Sounds medieval.
Sounds
yeah.
like that sounds like some old heavy metal riff. What the fuck sounds like that?
It could be. Oh, but that Morningstar album is great though. Rivendell, oh, I love it. We're warriors of pig and God. His vocals are so like half-assed but great.
Yeah, the promo is really cool. I heard that recently.
Yeah. They are no longer together, unfortunately. But what can you do?
Well, that guy's got a bunch of other projects that are well, not quite the same, but you still have what's his name, Ari Akonin or something.
Oh, I don't know the names of the members.
He's got a bunch of projects. I
I
wonder if you'd ever heard of any of that stuff.
Oh, he's in Heathen Hoof. They're fairly well known.
Yes. Heathen
Wasn't,
Hoof, Iron Bird, M-Tor, Arska.
They released something on Nuclear War now, if I remember correctly. But either way, not particularly familiar with them. But yeah, so that was Erythrite Throne opening, and then it was the headliner Baselvat from Michigan. It was weird, man. It was bizarre. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. And it's. Are you guys familiar with Baselvat?
Somewhat. They're kind of like Black Magic SS or something, right?
If they were more focused on metal rather than just random keyboards.
Yeah.
So they're. Well, first of all, it's a bunch of kids from Michigan. I don't know how old they are, but they're not particularly old. And
Is that the one that I said that they all looked old?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the same band.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
Yeah, you said they all look old. Well, they all look like they're from Middle Earth, I said.
Yeah, and then you
They did have a certain Dragonlance hobbity sort of feel to them. It was a very eclectic lineup, shall we say. So
I said they reminded me of the movie Zero Charisma.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy on the... I'm just thinking of the lineup right now. The guy on the far left and the guy on the far right looked like your fairly typical metalheads. Fine. Actually, the guy on the left had very Chuck Schuldiner kind of vibes. The singer, who was at a keyboard, was wearing pajama pants, which was unique. Yeah, the drummer had a coal chamber shirt on and a toque, and the bassist was wearing a fedora and an opened button shirt, like dress shirt. So that was unexpected. Again, not the kind of lineup you would expect for a black metal show.
A Christian
And
band, maybe?
I don't even know, but
It says lyrical themes Christianity.
really,
I'm
huh.
wondering if they just talk about Christianity, because that doesn't necessarily mean you are a Christian or a Christian band if you talk about it.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. I've never
Doesn't
read their
strike me as
lyrics.
that.
I don't know if their lyrics are even available, but from the albums I got, the song titles don't suggest Christianity. But I mean, what do I know?
That could be wrong too. Sometimes Metal Archives moderators just put shit that's not real.
Yeah, I believe that because I mean, notice how it says lyrical themes, but none of their albums have published lyrics that I'm aware of. So,
So how would you know, Buster?
right? I mean, the best you can do
Making
based off of the song
assumptions.
titles, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So they're like kind of a avant-garde sort of black metal, bouncy kind of folkish at times. But
I've heard good things.
yeah, no, they're fun. Like, do you guys remember Nuit Noire from France?
Yeah.
The one that
Yeah,
turned into this
the
weird
drummer, right?
punk. I don't know if he's drunk, but
The
they
fairy
turned into this
shit.
weird. Yeah, exactly. This weird like kind of black metal punk sort of thing. At times, they kind of reminded me of that, mostly from a thematic perspective rather than sound specifically, I guess. But yeah, just like weird stuff. Like I could see people into like Dead Reptile Shrine enjoying them too. But that was a yeah, it was a strange show. It was a very very small venue and a very small crowd too, which was nice because I was tired and didn't want to deal with people. I mean, me being tired, what else is new? The
Small crowd, not smaller than the show we went to on Saturday.
well, I will want to hear about that. But no, so the Baselbot had all four of their albums: An Old Forgotten Text, Incredible World, Self-Titled, and The Higher Power on CD. I grabbed all of them. And Aerothrite Throne didn't have any of his Aerothrite Throne stuff available, but he did have a CD of Sepharis. Sepharis? Kapharis? I don't know how to pronounce it. They are not Metal Archives because they are basically like dungeon synth, but like kind of like the Black Legion sort of stuff, like a Makahahina or Akon Kitre, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Movat.
Torture.
Yeah, kind of. It's like it's weird. Like the keyboards on this is it has this bizarre like, and I wrote this in my post. This weird like oscillating to it, and it makes it sound very dissonant and fairly unsettling. So it's actually pretty cool in that sense. So instead of just like a straight like do, it's like ooh, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And it kind of does it like randomly too. Sometimes it's like through the whole songs and then it
Listeners
doesn't
can
appear.
just loop Fred doing that, and it's like his own type of ambient.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was that was my haul from the show, and spent some time chatting to a friend after. Wound up getting home at like 2:30, which was way too late for me. But what can you do? I think that's it for the show and the
Fred's list.
and my oh no, I got the latest Morbific album in the mail.
Okay.
Bloom of the Abnormal Flesh.
Those were the guys with the like Impintigo type logo, right?
Yes, although they changed it slightly for the new album, it doesn't look as Impetigo-y as the original one. But oh, and my Immortalis album doesn't smell anymore. That's always fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I had this like when I got it, I'm like, cool. I've been wanting an original of this for a while. And I opened the case and like this like old musty smell comes out, like an old book, and I'm like, that's not fun. So I disassembled it and put it in a container with baking soda for like a week, I took it out yesterday and gave it a good sniff, and it's basically gone. So I'm like, all right, you can come back into reality now.
It was the jewel case that smelled like that?
No, it was the inserts.
The inserts?
Yeah, they smelled like old paper. So I don't know if they like stored it somewhere where it was like not.
Did you soak? What did you soak them in?
I didn't soak it in
Spray,
anything.
did you just spray something on them?
No, I didn't spray anything. I just put it into like a container with like a bowl of baking soda next to it, and it just absorbs odor.
Oh.
Yeah, it takes a while. Takes a while. Like it took like a week, but
could have put like some tea bags in your CD.
oh god. Well, I thought of like
Fred's got all the old wives' tales. He helped me with the bloody nose and the lemon juice. That really does work.
Oh yeah.
yes. Oh, and if you get a cold, put some cow dung in a tree trunk and put horsehair over top of it. But the yeah, I wanted to put the baking soda directly onto it, but I was worried that would damage the paper, so I didn't risk it. I just decided to wait it out. So, yeah, but I was saying it's
Very intriguing stuff.
yeah, that was
Well,
the
now
excitement
people
of my
know
week.
now people know how to get their papers to not smell.
Yep, I'm full of those old wives' tales that help
Fred's
you.
also full of popcorn.
Not yet. That's gonna be
Not
for
yet.
after the break.
Yeah.
But if you have a sore on your bottom, you can go swing a cat over your head at full moon in a graveyard at midnight.
If you leave your zipper open, a seagull will get you.
That is true. Has happened.
Who's next
Yeah,
on the list?
that was-
Paul,
that was
what
my
do you
week.
get to?
Nothing much during the week. Went to Florida for work. Just a quick little day trip.
Ooh,
You
what's
sure
that?
you didn't go to see the death metal guy?
No, I didn't see him. I wish he was.
Because I heard on the live stream, I heard of something that might be happening.
Oh yeah, I told you about that though.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Are you where on the show?
No, I told you at the Galicia practice, like maybe
What?
a while ago.
Well, tell me again because I honestly I didn't remember.
Oh,
And I have no clue what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so now we know.
but anyway, yeah, just did that. And there was a Galicia or no, Terminus live stream, and then Death Metal guy mentioned that he's working on a project, and a while ago he asked me to fill in on drums for him for that. So it's like like kind of emo-ish, like black metal, like just like the chordings, but it's like all tremolo riffing. One of the melodies for like the first songs that I heard kind of reminded me of I think it's called by Eucharist. I forget the song. It's like Within the Sun or something like that.
From the second album?
Yeah, from Mirror World.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that. I don't remember you telling me that.
Yeah, with the
I have
sun.
not
There you
spent
go.
much time with Mirror World. Is it worth it?
Oh yeah, I like this one a lot.
I haven't spent that much time with it either. I mean, I have the fucking tape, but it doesn't stuck with me. I think that I might have to change that.
I like this
Did they-
one a lot. Like especially.
Did they come out with a new album?
Don't worry about that, Fred.
They came out with an album in 22? I remember hearing they reunited, but I didn't know they released an album.
I remember hearing the single, and I was not impressed.
I mean, how do you come back from that?
Yeah, Mirror Worlds. I gotta listen to that again. By writing riffs and being good, and having ideas, and not just coming back for like no reason.
Yeah,
Let's see.
but yeah, that was a while ago. I feel like I told you.
I don't remember that.
It was like around the time we got the shirts.
Maybe you did. I just don't remember.
Yeah, it was a while ago. But he's almost done with that, and he sent over a couple more tracks for me to listen to, and just so I can get an idea of what to play, and then I got to figure out how to go about recording it. I wonder if Damien would still be able to. Probably not at its spot, but maybe like come by the shop or something and could record it.
He said
Do you
he
need
could
guest
bring his
vocals?
stuff.
What was that, Dan?
He said he probably could come to the shop. He mentioned that he could bring his shit over like before.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You just need. It's not gonna be anything too crazy. It's just like his laptop and the mics for the drums, which I don't think we need too many because it's such a small room.
Right. I mean, he's death metal guy's probably gonna mix it too himself, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's
So
cool. So it's kind of like a DSBM type of thing.
no, it sounds a little bit more uplifting than that.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well, I guess I'll just have to wait and see.
yeah. So there's that. That's cool. Terminus did two streams, which I really liked. The first one was doing the lyric videos, or the lyric, just talking about lyrics and stuff. And then the second one was with this guy called like Charlie Looker or something like that. And I guess he's like a chamber orchestrator or something. So he like composes all this music, and he's like into some metal and interested in it and talks about it.
It was a face reveal.
Yeah, that was
I
funny.
think that's the first time they've ever done a face reveal.
Yeah, faces, no names.
Well, I've seen the death metal guy. The black metal guy, I don't think I'd ever seen that clear. He almost looked like Jeff Bridges, the Big Lebowski. That's what I said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the Discord server, they like made gifs out of them and shit. It's funny.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun stream that they did.
Yeah, they talk about music in the same sort of way. Real high IQ shit. But after that, all the boys came together. Everyone knew each other's names, and everyone was glad. I was glad everyone came. We went to a bar, and they watched some of my set for the Screamo band play. It was Dan, Robert, Anthony, Vince, that whole group chat practically. Fred, too bad he couldn't make it.
No, I was busy that night.
We did see a Weezer cover band before Paul's band went on.
It was funny when you were talking to like Julian and Marco. You're like, "Wait, this is the Weezer cover band?" He's like, "They're old. I expected like teenagers."
No, I said the opposite. I said I expected them to be older.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that was funny. So completely clashing genres. So they played first, and then we went in the middle, and we had like 14 songs set, and they like about 5 songs in. They're like, "All right, how many more you got?" The owners are kind of getting over it, and we're like, "Let's just play 4 more." So we played 4 more, or no, we played 1 more, and then they came back up. They're like, "All right, like 1 or 2 left," and then so we just played 2 more songs, and then from there we just got kicked off, and then that was it.
I got scolded by one of the ladies that owns the bar because I walked outside with a beer
What you do?
to smoke. But it was right on the bench, like in the vicinity, right? It's still in the place. She's like, no, and it's like, you do that again, you're out. I'm like, okay.
You're like, but I'm already out with my beer.
I'm like, oh, you can't come up, you can't sit at it. She goes, this is a bar. Okay.
You don't have a patio area?
I assumed that was the patio area.
Yeah, because they had the grill right there, everything, yeah.
Yeah, anyways, like, yeah, they had a grill there, they had a big bench there, and it's like, what does it really matter? I bought the beer. What does it matter if I take it out? It was in a can.
Yeah, then there was, Drew, like, got a soda from, like, the like, liquor store down the street, because we were, like, there, like, at 7 and didn't want to start drinking too early before the set, and, he's like, oh, yeah, you can't drink that in front of the place either. Like a fucking soda can. Because we were, like, right in front of that bench, too, and they're like, no, you gotta, like, go down the way. I'm like, all right.
Paul, did you mention that we were the only ones that were there?
Oh no. So yeah,
Yeah, we
that
were
was
the
the
only
funny.
ones that were
That
there.
was the weird thing too. It's like yeah, we're probably not fitting the bill too much, but all of like everyone that went was for our band and not
Like
really
six
the Weezer
people,
one. Yeah,
including me. I took my van and everyone came with me.
yeah. And I was like, I guess so. They're asking people at the door. They're like, "Oh, are you here for Weezer or this band?" And then Raph's like, both, I guess."
Nobody showed up to the show. What did the Weezer cover band not invite anybody?
I don't know.
Your band didn't invite anybody. Well, your band invited us in the group chat, and
Yeah,
apparently that was it. Because
yeah.
there was nobody there. There was just us in this like empty bar. It was fun. I had fun. I played pool with Vince. I beat him.
I
Yeah,
beat him.
we were playing pool. Robert was going crazy because the Angels won, and yeah. But then we were walking out of the set just to get some air and shit, and I just hear like these like older ladies. They're like, why would you play that in a bar full of no people? I was like, exactly. There's no one here. But yeah, it was weird.
Somebody didn't do any promoting.
Yeah, it was weird though. It was like they had a
I would
metal
you
show.
play that?
They had a metal show there like when we first went to that bar, and
Place is
now
packed.
now it's like too much. Maybe they expected some easy listening on that Saturday or
Well, they were
something.
pissed because there was no one there.
Yeah.
That's why they were pissed. They weren't pissed at the music. They were pissed that no one was there. It's like
What the hell?
it's like you're using our bar, you're making all this noise, and there's nobody here. That's why they were pissed.
That brought everybody, bro. What are you talking about?
I brought everybody.
This is a gang. And then what else? I think that was it pretty much.
Well,
Yeah,
we
it's
went
only
to
a week.
Nathan's
Calm
after.
down there.
Yeah, we went to Nathan's after, and he was acting like a I don't know.
Yeah, Anthony said it was getting weird.
A strange lad. And then Miguel's like, all right, I'm going to leave before Nathan starts acting weird. And lo and behold, he did. He was like staring at me, and he's like, we're friends, right, Danny? He's like, come here, man, come here. He's like, say my name. He's like being a fucking freak. I'm like, okay, dude, relax.
Say my name.
Just fucking being a freak. And I'm like, nay. He's like,
Anthony's like, I'm still high.
yeah, we did not get my dog high. I don't know why he said, but the dog was in the car. I had it with me. So,
Well, yeah, let's.
Rob's like, he was floating. Didn't you see? Oh, and then when I drove Anthony back to his house, we smoked a little bit in front of the house, and he's like, Nathan wasn't acting weird. He was acting cool. And I'm like, okay, apparently you don't see it. And Robert's like, Nathan doesn't like me. I'm like, yeah, dude. He told me. He's like, straight up. He told me he doesn't like you. And Anthony's like, Robert, that's because you're loud and you're this and you're that. And Anthony's just like, Robert's like, he's like, damn, bro wasn't holding back. He's being an asshole.
Instead of roasting him.
Yeah, and I asked Robert. I'm like, really? Anthony didn't see like Nathan's acting like a freak, and he's like, dude, they're on the same level. They're the same. Like, you know what? You're right. Couple of freaks.
He's all, if anything, you guys are acting a little weird tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I saw Tormentor on Thursday with Anthony.
Oh, nice.
Saw who?
Tormentor.
Oh, right. You mentioned that. How was it?
I showed up late, like late into Tormentor's set,
Oh.
and I went outside for a smoke a few times, and it was funny. It's like right when I got there, this guy I knew was outside by himself, and he goes, I got bored. And I go in there and I'm watching the band, and God, they have a lot of like interlude parts. It's crazy. They're like momentum. They never stick with it. Like they'll get going, people will start moshing, and like not even a minute later, they're back to more interludes and like build up parts. It was kind of crazy. It was cool to see them live though. All the riffs are sick, but it was just kind of like they're super theatrical, so it
Yeah.
kind of doesn't translate to a live setting. It's weird.
Well, Attila's
I
really
saw-
theatrical himself, right? Like, he's...
Yeah, he is.
Okay, here's the real question, and I know this is like the most typical song to think of when you think of Tormentor, but
Yeah.
did you see Elizabeth Bathory?
Yes,
Oh,
they
so
played all
good.
the old stuff.
But were
Or
you
I think
there
that's all they
for it?
have
You
is
said
old
you got
stuff.
there. You said you got there late. Did you see
They
and hear Elizabeth
I did.
Bathory?
They played that one like almost last.
Yeah, that's not surprising actually.
Almost late in the set.
I
Yeah, a
love that
lot of
song.
people like had the same kind of attitude. Like I saw Amy there. Fred, if you remember when I talked about Amy on episode 47, I'm like, that's the girl that spilled water on her tits. Remember she tried to throw water back in her mouth? She was there. She's standing there. She's like, I'm getting bored. She's like, I'm falling asleep watching Tormentor.
How can you fall asleep watching Tormentor? I mean, I get it. I'm old and I would fall asleep, but still.
Well, I saw their set list the next day. They had 24 songs, and each of them
Whew.
had like
They played it all the
intros
time.
and outro, or like intros and interludes.
Yeah, there
And
was a
like
million interludes and
How
intros.
how
And
long did they play for?
you
oh
said,
god, I don't know.
you said from like 10:30 to 12, right? Like you didn't.
I got there at about 10:30, and I left at about. I think I left at about like 12:15, and I was
God
only
damn.
standing outside after the show for maybe about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because fucking when Attila played, well, when Mayhem played here, like they played for a really long time too, because they went through the entire life cycle of Mayhem, right, from present to early roots, and they had like well, mostly, well, not all of them, costume changes between eras and everything. Like they played for like 2.5 hours, I think. Like it was a long set. Like, gotta hand
Yeah,
it to Attila. He's got energy.
yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
it
they're.
was cool to see live.
Yeah, I guess they're just trying to make their, you know, coming abroad more worth it. I guess on their end.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I get it. Fucking legacy band, and you're coming from far away. It's like you got to do your thing.
I wonder if they played anything from the album. That was a bit of a weird one.
Dude, is that from later? I don't think I've ever heard a full length from them. Or is it
Yeah,
called?
it's called Recipe Ferrum 777 or something like that. It had, it was weird. It was not anything at all like the demos. How would you even describe it? I don't even know. Industrial, maybe? It's been a long time since I've heard it too, because I was like,
It says experimental rock.
yeah, maybe. Like I don't even know how to describe it.
No, I've
I
never even seen that album cover before.
like I don't want to say I dislike it because I don't remember what it sounds like, to be honest. But it definitely, if you like Seventh Day of Doom and Anno Domini.
That's the one I really like.
Oh, for me it's Anno Domini. I love Anno Domini,
Ah,
but they're both fantastic. But if you love those two demos, if you're expecting that listening to the album, you will be so fucking disappointed.
now they played all they. I don't think they played anything off that album. They didn't play anything that was. Everything that they played was like what they are, kind of 80s black metal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. That album is a real like gear shift. Again, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's nothing at all like what they were really known for. It's like Thou Shalt Suffer. You have those great demos and EPs, and then Nissan revives it as like a neoclassical project. Like, what the hell is this?
Never heard that. I love the Into the Woods of Belial. I like that a lot. But no,
Yeah,
never heard the fucking full length.
it's again, if you're expecting the death metal stuff of the demo
Expect it
and
from
the EPs,
Norway or Norweird.
yeah, but like if you're expecting anything that sounds like the stuff on Into the Woods, you're not going to get it.
Just cut out.
It's really weird, electronically produced new classical music, and
Right.
it's good. I like it, but I wouldn't say, hey, if you like death metal, go listen to it.
Somnium?
That's the one.
Do we have a little bit of a delay? Fred, say now.
Now,
No, I don't think so.
It's a little bit of a delay. No?
try again.
I was I was gonna tell you. Okay, let's do it one more time. Fred, now.
Now,
Sounds like there's a delay.
Alright, we're back from the break first.
Technical issues.
Fred's voice sped up, and I was gonna laugh, but then the stream just kind of like.
I was talking real quickly like this.
Yeah, we were gonna laugh, but then
the
the laugh would have been delayed, and yeah, whole thing.
It would just make all you guys sound slow.
Right. I was gonna bring up, dude. I saw Angel at the Tormentor show, and he's standing there talking to me, and he goes, man, all these chicks keep coming up to me. They're like, hey, why are you looking so cute, Angel? And he like grabs my back when he said that. And I'm like, you grabbed my back when you said that.
That's what they did.
And I told him, I was like, you're a legend around here, Angel. He goes, I know, it's crazy, huh? Way to be humble, brother. Yeah, that shit was kind of hilarious. Let's see. What else is on my list? I was gonna bring up.
The guy from Cheers died.
Right,
Yeah.
George went. Norm.
R.I.P.
Yep.
With Vera in heaven. I don't know if Vera died on the show. I doubt it.
I was hoping he'd come back for like the Frasier reboot, but that's canceled too, anyways. So.
I mean, he was old in the fucking 90s, Frasier. He was kind of old already in Cheers. Wasn't he like 37 or something?
That's not old, Dan.
Well, I would say it is for season 1. Because Frasier was 29 when he showed up in that show.
Feeling triggered here.
I don't feel triggered, dude. Just make light.
He was 30. Oh no. No, I just said Ted Danson was 35 and Woody Harrelson was 21, but it's not saying anything about anyone else.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, George Wendt was 76. He was 76 when he died.
Oh, he was 33, 34.
Okay.
So was
it's kind
Cliff.
of interesting. Those guys seem like we're almost that age, like a year or two away, and it's like I don't know. Those characters seem so much more like grown up. It's kind of strange.
Distinguished and.
But yeah, distinguished. They're like wearing suits. Like, how old was Cliff? He looks kind of old in those.
He was 30. He was 33 during filming.
Well, he had like white hair.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It wasn't even the white hair. It was the mustache and just the general disposition.
His attitude too. He's like, hey there, know me. He sounds like a seasoned old guy, like an old sailor or something.
Like I would have pegged him for like 50 or 60.
Yeah,
exactly. He acts like an old. There's something very cool about that though. It's like be older than you are, or like sort of attitude wise. There is something cool about that.
Then there's like all the 80s yearbooks and stuff, like they just look like teen actors nowadays where they're like almost like 30 or something.
Yeah, now everybody looks like a bunch of fucking gay babies.
Yeah.
Like it's really gay.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, everyone's like badass and like you would see like, high school yearbook pictures, guy with a full beard and like a fucking cool mullet. And now everybody these days that has a mullet kind of looks like safe sleazy or whatever. Just look like a homo.
Wow, if you look up the guy that plays Cliff, the picture of him when he's old is what I picture him looking like in Cheers anyways. But then I looked at him back in the 80s and he still looks old, but
yeah.
So he's like white.
That's what I'm saying about like Norm. Like Norm looked like an old guy, but it's so weird. Let me see what was what's his real name? Radcliffe or something? Ratzenberger.
John Ratzenberger, yeah. And I only know that because I'm on his page right now.
Yeah, he looks different, but it's kind of crazy. Yeah, he did look old, but then he just looks like an old fart later. Before he looked like an old guy who could work and was like drinking beer, and then after he's just like an old fart, like an old fat guy. Either way, John Ratzenberger is cool. I think he did the voice of the pig on Toy Story.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
And then what's his name? Fucking Ernest did the voice of the fucking the Slinky dog. Hi there, Ernest.
Oh, the Slinky dog.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I gave my first guitar lesson on Friday.
Oh, to who?
My dad's friend's kid wants to learn guitar, so I went ahead and did the Mac route, and
Black Sabbath?
We started doing Electric Funeral.
Caught on. If I could do it, he could do it.
Not like he knows where the notes are, and he can like. He's having a problem with like holding the notes.
Bro
and,
got
like,
no rhythm.
sustaining a note, like he's hitting a bunch of dead notes.
Oh.
It seems to be. Like at first I'm like, I don't want to do this. Then I'm like, okay. So if I got paid, so if I can get paid on Fridays to give guitar lessons, that would be fine. Hopefully the kid gets good, and I can just teach him stuff. I can get paid.
You'll have your backup guitarist right there. No more Raph.
He's too young. He's like 13.
That's probably the most fruitful age for metal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Because I started playing at that age, and I think you retain more when you're young. Like when you're old, your brain can't do anything. I'm sorry. I keep throwing out that word, the O word. It's okay. I'm old too.
Ageist.
Fred, did you see that Simpsons tank top?
Yeah, that old one. Oh wait,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
My grandma found that in the garage. I think it's like super vintage.
Fred, you're muted. Alrighty then.
Fred? Where the fuck is Fred?
Freddy dipped.
He did? No, he's not. I see his name right there.
Yeah, but it says he's muted.
What the fuck is he doing? Fred, warn us before you mute. Don't just mute because I'm asking you things. That's what the show is. Hello.
Alright, Freddy's back from the mute verse.
Right. the Mutoverse.
I wasn't gone that long ago. Perhaps just grab some water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I was talking to you.
I didn't want to interrupt the story.
It was awkward. We were like, "Oh, Fred, where you at?"
Sorry.
It was awkward. It was like, oh, should we just kill ourselves because Fred's on mute?
I started coughing uncontrollably. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna.
You're supposed to leave that. You're
Yeah,
supposed
that's
to leave
content.
That
Can we get that? Roll that
That's what
back.
Bestial Conclave wants to hear.
Can we help Fred? Nah, he's too far.
I asked you if you like that Simpsons tank top with the gecko.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It looks old.
I think it is old, but it's like new. It's like new old stock.
Yeah. Like it doesn't like look decrepit or anything. It looks like it's been like lost in time.
Yeah, it is. It is very cool. I think my grandma just gave. It was in her garage. I don't know how long it had been sitting there. I had never seen it before. Look, when I got it's brand new. It's a brand new shirt. But it's like, where the fuck would you find something like that now? I don't think people make stuff like that anymore.
What does it say on it again?
It says it's the brand Gecko, like that kind of surfer brand. It says Gecko Hawaii. Simpsons, yo.
Huh.
Yeah,
You know what I have noticed? What's that, Paul?
Well, it's like it's a brand alongside like Big Dog and shit.
Sure. Yeah, something like that. It was big in the probably late 90s, early 2000s, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
I've noticed, dude, that like clothes nowadays, just like you have those brands of clothes like Gecko and what else, like Billabong and shit like that. Try to find a cool shirt these days with like a cool design. There is nothing. Like the thing was when you were a kid, you used to go to like the surf shop or the skate shop or like something like that, and you would find like cool design shirts. You can't find shit anymore. Like every design is fucking stupid. And so I just buy everything like on eBay for my t-shirt needs.
I just get metal shirts.
Yeah, I got some metal shirts, but I also like to wear just cool shirts.
I can't remember the last metal shirt I got.
Come on,
Oh
Fred.
man,
Found a Feetopsy shirt. Bought that.
I think it might have been Outre Tombe, but I don't know. I don't buy many shirts anymore. I only buy shirts at shows. I don't tend to order anymore.
Dang.
I'm pretty picky and choosy with what I buy.
Got some
Are you
nice
the
ones
same
in
way,
this
Paul,
week.
with metal shirts?
Yeah, ones I don't see too much.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I bought a Nirvana 2002 shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I got
Toxemia followed me on Instagram today.
Cool.
That was pretty neat. I didn't.
follow him
I
back.
didn't realize
Must
they were
mean
still
you're a
around.
cool guy. Yeah, that
I
is
mean,
crazy.
obviously.
It's like Angel.
Yeah, he's a legend.
You're a legend on
Crazy, huh?
Instagram.
Mhm.
But I got this week Lipoma shirt, the Old
Cool.
Suffering.
I saw that. You were wearing that the other day.
Got the Flesh Mangled shirt.
I was gonna get that.
And then I got a Nuclear Death shirt.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah, I got it with the Lipoma one because it was from Germany, and I was like, let's see what else I can get out of the shipping.
Shirt heads now.
What's on the lipoma shirt?
Just the album art of it's just like some guy with a bunch of like fucking bumps and sores on him, and he has like a blindfold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got the Bride of Insect shirt from Nuclear Death.
Is it a white shirt?
No, that'd be cool. It's a black one and it has silver print.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that still looks cool. That's still cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for my my things I had to talk about. Did you have a few more, Dan?
Yeah, I got a list here. I want to do a little section called this is a mental note, so it's not that important, but I just wanted to bring it up with you, Paul, before I like. Okay, so I was telling you about I want to do Natalie Portman Nip Slip and a new Warriors Chalice and a new Galicia and like way in the future Necrotic Mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all those things have potential for like more, and I want to do them. I remember when you were saying when we finished, I think the comp, you're like, I want to do the Brutal Death, Natalie Portman stuff. I think that's what I want to do too. Honestly, the fucking Terminus episode that they did on Emily and
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Last Days of Humanity.
Yeah, because that's when you got into what's that one band called? Biosys. Yeah.
Yeah, Death Metal Guy mentioned Biosys as like one of the side projects of one of the Last Days guys, and it's like gore noise. Like some of it is musical gore grind. Other stuff is like just fucking noise with like gurgly vocals. But there's something about that project that really, I don't know. It's like lighting a fire under my ass to want to continue and like do something with like a gore grind brutal death metal thing. And then they did that thing with that guy the other day, whatever his name was, Charlie.
Yeah,
And
Charlie Looker.
Death Metal Guy was kind of talking about like the center of gravity is new standard elite stuff. It isn't what did he say it wasn't? He's like,
Wasn't
it's not
like
maggot
Worm
stomp
and- yeah.
hardcore, and it wasn't I
like
forget,
like ODS, old school death metal.
yeah, he said it wasn't stuff like Tomb Mold.
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
he said. Yeah, I agree
Hey,
with that.
early Tomb Mold is pretty sick.
I've never listened to them, and I never really gave a shit. I mean, is that like one of the most incantation rip-off
No.
things that there is? Like the
Not
most...
even close.
No?
The
Okay. I don't
first-
know. I've never listened to them.
The first album is the biggest influence, I would say, is probably Demilich. Second album kind of sounds like Demilich crashing into Bolt Thrower. And then they kind of veered off course with after that.
Well, I mean, like I get that is not where things should be, just because I feel like that stuff has all sort of been done, and maybe there's just no need for old school death metal anymore. Like, I'm not saying the not the classic bands and not the good new stuff. I'm just saying maybe that stuff kind of needs to start to fizzle out? Because I mean, how long have we been subject to old school, new school death metal, and how often is it more boring and kind of worthless than it is like great? You
Yeah,
know
I
what I
think
mean?
that there's or death metal shouldn't go into like the hardcore sort of like thing where the bands all sound the same and everyone just wants to hear those type of
Plus, that stuff kind
riffs.
of
Like,
sucks,
yeah,
anyways. Like hardcore death metal of the nowadays,
it's like
it kind of
just
sucks.
it's just recycled shit.
Yeah, and the hardcore scene nowadays seems pretty. I'm not in that scene, and I don't really know much about that kind of stuff. But what I see and what I hear and what like I kind of observe from the outside, it seems pretty not my thing, and it seems pretty not cool.
Yeah,
That's
when
that's just what I can say.
we were talking to the Weezer guys, they're like, "Oh, sorry, we got you guys." Or we tried to keep you on as long as we could. They're like, maybe you guys could check out like the hardcore scene and to play shows. Me, Marco, and Julian looked at each other like,
No. Well, you guys, music would be closer to the hardcore scene, but I get it. The hardcore scene is, I don't know,
it's lame.
it is. It seems really lame.
And it seems
I
like
don't. I don't.
universally lame because there's a couple guys in the discords that are like in more like the Carolinas, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the hardcore scene here kind of sucks." Like, it's just like lame.
It doesn't look cool. It doesn't sound cool. I mean, what's the appeal? You're
Just
gay?
community,
Is
bro.
that the appeal?
Just community, bro.
It's community, bro. There's something about the way they dress too that I hate. They're always so clean. I don't like that.
Get
I really
clean,
hate like you
clean
know
with
what I
the
mean? Like
bloods.
clean with the fucking beanies and the big old pants that are super clean. It's like I don't like it. It's like how would you dress like that? Kind of goes back there, and they all look like babies
We
with beards.
lost our white boys to hardcore. Sad.
We've
Get
lost our
dirty.
white boys to hardcore. Some of them are still in like the brutal death metal scene, which is cool. For I would say for the most part, some of that scene, I assume isn't that cool because I kind of see what's going on in there. But at the same time, I mean, all the scenes are a little bit lame in some aspects. Even black metal scenes, it's like okay,
Yeah.
I think the black.
But
the
that
thing about the
being
black
said,
metal scene, yeah.
I don't think you're wrong about things being rehashed to ad nauseum at this point. That said, it's still a good album. That first Tomb
What
World
is
is pretty
two-
sick.
Okay, fine, fair enough, fair enough. My argument wasn't
Like,
that it wasn't a good album. My argument was just maybe we've had enough. Maybe this sound and sort of trend that's been going on for probably 15 years needs to fizzle out. I mean, yeah, old death metal is cool. It's my favorite genre, but when is enough
The-
enough? Like,
Yeah, we need the,
when how much can you
the-
squeeze out of the fucking towel?
Well,
Yeah.
the bands that are coming out of the hardcore scene, like, I don't know, Outer Heaven, stuff like that. Gate Creeper, maybe? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's a good
definitely not for me. Not a huge
Yeah,
fan.
me neither.
You just need the probably the last revitalization that was good was like Out of Dark Descent with like Undead Creep and all those bands around that time, like 2010. At least that I gave a shit
say
about.
I would say the second Horrendous album was probably the last big, like, huge album for me.
Yeah.
Was, like, modern.
Well, Undeath, I don't really like the way they went after, but those two demos, especially Sentient Autolysis, were really cool. I liked those two a lot. And then the first album wasn't bad, but then it kind of like went a bit too corny. Like It's Time to Rise from the Grave is
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm good now. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, all these things, all the projects that I have in mind to do, and I've started writing a little bit for a couple of them. I think they all have potential for something different. I mean, like
I was gonna say, I was like, damn, Dan listens to Death Metal Guy, but not me. I was like, bro, let's do Brutal Death, let's do DSBM.
well, I had the sort of doubt in my mind when you were talking about the brutal death thing. Like at first I'm like, yeah, I'd like to do that, and then I'm thinking like, is there anything I can add to this? And I think the answer to that is yes. I think I can.
But yeah,
Just
you got a
because-
fire under your ass now for it. I'm
And
motivated.
just because like, did you hear the Natalie Portman Nip Slip song? Like what sounds like that? That doesn't. There's no other bands that sound like that.
When you do
Kind of
the
get what I mean?
Natalie Portman album, can you please name the album or at least a song "Wardrobe Malfunction"? Like I just think
Sure.
that's amazing.
Maybe it'll be one of the parentheses in parentheses.
I'll take it as long as it's in there
Yeah,
somewhere.
something. Yeah. It'll be
I'm
something.
easy to
But yeah,
I'm easy to please.
I think there's potential in that. I kind of want to do like a few super low tuned gore grind and then mix with the kind of style we were doing on that comp. But yeah, I do think that there is potential for me to be able to write stuff like that.
Is that
And then
something that you'd want to do in like a full length capacity or just like EPs?
I don't know. Uh, mm, I possibly a full length. If a full length is like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
then
because I
sure.
think the only full lengths we have are Galicia and Mrs. Twilight, right?
I think that might be the. I think
Necrotic
that
Mess.
might be the move. Everything that I want to do in the future, I think let's just do a full length.
Yeah, give us enough time in between to.
Yeah. This is all like super future stuff. I still want some time. I still need some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warriors Chalice. Like, I think there's something in the DSBM kind of sphere that I can do differently too. I mean, I think maybe everybody thinks that way, but I just feel like the way I come up with riffs personally is like tedious in a way that's good. And then Galicia, there's like a way forward to that. I mean, we've already seen that with the comp, and Necrotic Mess too. That's like an old school death metal style,
But yeah, no one's doing it.
but no one's ever done it since.
But there's that one band.
Uranus or whatever.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
they're
but-
still like it lacked anything.
but I can beat them at the.
I think we already did.
They're finished and I can beat. They're finished and I can beat them.
Yeah, we already did
Are you gonna do anything with the Droom?
with like Alien Planet.
There's nothing. No, there's no. I don't think there's anything for Droom at this time.
No?
I mean,
I like
True.
doing that sound that we did lately, but I don't really have any motivation to do it.
why? Neither do I. I mean, Droom. What did it go from? Like weird. Like it went from dream grind, weird grind, to what would you even call that? Shoegazy alt rock, like hum or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that worked for a song. This other stuff, I think I can actually work with. Let's see. I wrote in my notes, Vince is the man again. Vince is the man. I guess what that means
You
is
heard it here first.
He's kind of back in a big way, and Vince is kind of kicking ass at life. So, yeah, I don't really need to elaborate more. That's
Good for
Vince
him.
is just the man again. Yeah. Let's see.
Bows.
I put Cousin Red from the second Cheech and Chong movie in the thumbnail. It's definitely not as good as the first movie. It's actually stupider, much stupider. But Cousin Red, if you've ever seen the second Cheech and Chong movie, it's just Cheech in a red wig. It's worth watching at least once. I used to watch it a shit ton when I was a kid.
Can you believe they're gonna make a fucking last movie?
They were fucking done and not funny in the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck did I write here? Oh, Anthony sent that picture to the group chat. I don't think Fred saw it, but it was a picture of me, and Julian said I look like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, and then they took a picture of me next to Jack Nicholson's face busting through the door. He says, "Here's Johnny."
Oh yeah.
That's kind.
All right, I gotta find this.
It's in the chat somewhere. Oh, I was also gonna bring up. We found Gabe. We found.
Oh,
Gabe in the yearbook. Oh, were you really laughing at that? Were you laughing at a disabled kid in a wheelchair?
Laughing as hard as I can.
Wow, what's so funny about? What's funny about? That's not funny, Paul.
It's just I haven't seen him since those years, and then it's just like the whole
Yeah,
idea
me
of the joke that we always talk about and explaining them to people, and then it's like finally there. It
Oh,
like
you want to
finally got the
wanna see-
release.
You want to hear something crazy?
Hmm.
I think it was. I'm just going off memory here. I believe in episode 33 we talked about Gabe, the Myatt episode, and that was a long time ago. So I might have to re-up people briefly. I might have to debrief everyone about Gabe. So Gabe's a disabled kid in a wheelchair that we knew in high school. We didn't know him. He was in our high school, and he kind of like would hang around sort of near where we would hang out, so we would see him and his like helper guy. and I guess somebody had him in a class, and some girl was late to class, and Gabe started laughing at the girl, and he kind of laughed like a little goblin. He went, and his helper guy, who looked like Sean William Scott, he goes, "That's not funny, Gabe." And so we kind of quote that guy, but it's not funny, so and so, whatever. And then Paul's just like, "Hey, find Gabe in the yearbook so the guys can actually see what he looks like." I found him. That's it. And well, I said they're hanging bags off his wheelchair, and it's just like the poop sack. Make a good Family Guy reference. He lied to me about the poop sack. I also found a picture of Paul, his yearbook picture, where he's wearing a fucking I guess you would call a battle vest, his metal vest. You could see an Aeon patch and a Gorguts patch and a Psy patch. It's just kind of funny that you wore that in your fucking picture.
Yeah. And then I got some good photos for, what was it called? Some Natalie Portman nip slip. The sewer days.
Yeah. They look cool. More artwork inspired by Biocyst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, uploaded Shannon's futuristic organ harvest. What the hell was it called? That was the name of it. It was what was the label? I don't remember. Something weapons technologies, advanced weapons technology. Apparently, people are commenting on that, saying like they found it in their feed, like on their homepage, and like we've gotten like 3 or 4 subs just today, and I kept refreshing the page. I'm like, this is getting weird. Why are we getting subs like this?
Shannon's popular.
Yeah, we're at 529, and people are like, this is intriguing. What is this? What is this? It's like noise music kind of. It's like somewhat close to harsh noise. It's not that harsh though. It's noise though.
We'll release it on Bunsen burner.
Re-release it, dude. The tape broke twice. Like the actual tape inside, I had to tape it together.
Oh damn!
While
you're ripping it.
Not while I was ripping it. The first time I listened to it, and then the second time I tried to rip it, it broke, and so it's probably not long for this world, the actual tape, but it has been immortalized, so cool.
That's what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet.
Let's see. Me and Fred, we were talking about Norwegian death metal last time, and I found another Norwegian death metal band that I'd never heard before called Disgusting.
Oh, I remember them.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think the demo's from like '94. It has like a heart on it or something.
Oh, I don't remember what the demo looks like.
It's pretty simple, but it's heavy and cool, brother.
Oh, we also got confirmation for the split, right?
I got confirmation, but those fucking noobs still have not emailed me their shit. So,
we're just waiting on them.
Hurry up, Jews! Yeah, please hurry up. Let's see. I was watching a Billy Milano interview. You guys know who Billy Milano is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, SOD. He was talking a lot of shit about Scotty, and it was pretty good. And he was talking about being at this one show, and Scott was sitting in his tour bus eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and people wanted him to sign stuff. And Billy tells him, he goes, "Scott, they want you to sign this stuff." He goes, "I'm busy." And then Billy opens the window to the bus, and he goes, "I want 5 of you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get on the bus. He's going to sign your stuff." And he gets them in the bus while Scott's sitting there eating. And he goes, "Come on, Scott, here they are. They're all here at the table." And he goes, "I'm busy." And he goes, "All right, take them out." He goes, "5 more, come in." He does it again. And he tells all the guys, he goes, "I want you to remember." I think they're in Cleveland. He goes, "I want you to remember who was respectful to you and who was disrespectful to you." He goes, "After that, Cleveland hates fucking Scotty." And he's like, "Piece of shit." And he's like, "Guy looks like a fucking muppet." But yeah, we did meet Scotty in once, and he was a little asshole.
Yeah.
Little Jewish asshole.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I wanted him to sign my friend's thing. I wanted him to write the line that he said in Married with Children on the TV show. I wanted him to write, "Kooky, kooky, lend me your comb." Or whatever. And he's like, no. And then Paul's like, with his brother, he goes,
no.
He goes, "Can you take a picture with us like you're choking me?" And he goes, "No." And then the next guy gets in line. He goes, "Hi, Scott, how are you?" He goes, "I'm tired."
Sounds like
so I'm with Billy. Billy's cool, and Billy's fucking hilarious. Scott's a little jerk off.
There was
another. What's up?
They were tired of Scott.
Tired Scott. Yeah. I do like SOD though. Good work on guitar on that. 1985, great. Oh, there was another Billy Milano interview that I found that was a little bit older. I think it's from like the mid 2000s maybe, and he's talking to Dan Lilker, and he goes, "Dan, what was your favorite moment on tour?" He goes, "Oh, or what was your favorite city?" He goes, "This place, crowd interaction." He goes, "Oh, my favorite show is when I got laid." And he goes, "Well, there you go." And then Billy goes, "Ha!" It's like real funny. What else is in my list? I want to watch the Beatles movie Yellow Submarine. The animation looks cool. Billy was talking about that. He mentioned the Blue Meanie.
I feel like you could just watch the animated parts of Monty Python and be more entertained.
It seems cool to me. Let's see. We covered Lecherous. Sort of talked about Brutal Death. Been listening to Bowel Stew and Bowel Fetus. And a band that seems familiar, but I don't know if I've ever heard them. They're called Demented Retard, which is a cool name. We had a similar name. Our band Droom, it was an acronym, Deranged Retards of Obsessed Masturbation.
All right.
Oh, I wanted to ask the listeners and you. I remember liking Inherit Disease. I saw them on the New Standard Elite website. I like that Nano Scourge album. What do you guys think of Inherit Disease, if anything?
I haven't heard them in a long time.
Right. I do remember liking them, though.
I don't think I've heard them at all.
Last thing. This is kind of crazy. Paul, have you heard of recently there was a bombing in like Palm Springs? A fertility clinic got bombed.
Oh, yeah.
I heard of that.
My cousin's cousin is the guy who did it. And
Oh,
he blew
damn.
up.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I don't know the fucker. No, he's not related to me. He's related to like my cousin's dad. I won't say which cousin, but yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, damn.
Wow.
Yeah, they said it was like the biggest bombing in California, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't know this guy. I saw him on the news. My aunt told me. I'm like, really? That's kind of crazy. FBI's gonna come now.
So Bunsen burner, what are you guys gonna burn?
Like I said on the couple episodes before this, everything I say on the show is for entertainment purposes only. None of it's true. Everything I'm saying is not true.
That's true.
That's true. Now that's. And then I wrote "Go to Break." So if anybody else has any last words before we go to break.
I'm just wondering if you guys have checked out any of the random stuff I sent you to upload to the channel, and any favorites.
Yeah, let's go over that real quick. Let's see. What have you uploaded?
The guy just like spammed you with like releases.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll get to him eventually. Let's do a little bit of miasma, and Shannon time stamped something for me. He says the vocals at 18 seconds, and he says LOL, and I said sounds like the lady who threw up in the whammy burger and falling down.
Yeah,
and it does. She goes.
The miasma one is cool because it has a little bit of everything. It has the demo, the promo, and some live stuff.
Sepulchra. I know that's one of Alex's projects from Horde of Worms. Didn't give that a listen yet at all. Fireborn seems like okay. Mellow Death. See, one of the guys is an All That Remains shirt, so that's kind of interesting. Diesel Bowl. I listened to about half of that. Well, a little over half, but that's really good. That's probably the coolest thing. I said it sounded like Greek, but it kind of doesn't. It's almost like it's like demoniac or something. It's like happy black metal. It's kind of crazy.
Beelzebub's really cool. I really like that album.
Yeah. So out of that stuff, Chernobog I still haven't checked out. I've been wanting to check out Fjord and some of that other shit. Checked out Befouled Serenity, and we already kind of went over the other stuff last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the last ones, or from last time. That's all I caught up to. Because then the floodgates opened after that.
Yeah, I won't stop.
Yeah. I still have some more things to send you guys to, so. But we'll get to that eventually. Those, the other stuff from the Miasma bootleg came from the Necroscope zine. And the other bootlegs I have from them are a Demigod and Belial split, and then a Volcano Mutilator Sex Trash split. The latter being all live stuff. I need to rip those and find out what's on them because they don't actually have track lists.
Well, it's kind of interesting. It's like some of the songs on that 1990 demo were on the album, I think, right? On
Yeah.
Changes? Oh, okay. Actually, it's not
like,
that crazy. It's 92. But some of those riffs are really advanced for 92, it seems to me. Or 91, even.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were always kind of out on a limb, I found. Miasma was one of my... Like, that Changes is like top 10 death metal for me.
Yeah, Changes
I love that
shit.
album.
Even Heavy Metal Christian likes that one.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, break.
Break.
Welcome to the Bunsen Burner Podcast.
We're back from the Bunsen Birther break, and we're here.
We gave birth
Yeah, to the next to part 2.
to little lumbers.
And
Part 2.
I know you guys waited a while to get another Paul pick, so here it is. Takes a whole month.
You've been waiting.
Yep. See him in the comments. The hidden.
We left off on a pulpit, kind of, if you don't count Nephus.
Yeah, the hidden comments Dan deletes. They're like, "Yo, where's the Paul picks?" But,
Yeah. Any comments who are positive towards you guys, I delete.
That's fair.
I mean, I would too if I had the power.
Yep.
Right. The power.
But yeah. So I picked something new to me. I've been talking about them for a little while. Got their CD. Just something that is really confusing to me, but really equally as intriguing. And I just wanted to hear what you guys thought about it and have you guys as a captive audience to actually check it out rather than just send a YouTube link.
Why is it confusing?
Remember when I jokingly said I was like, this is the album that broke me? Like, this is one that like I was just like trying to listen to it over and over and over again and just try to get something out of it, out of either like influence or contemporary, like someone that sounded like it. And it was just something that I still can't put, anything. I can't really tell what's going on. So I figured that you guys would, help me out with that during this episode, because it's something that I really, really, really enjoy. Like, all the riffs are riffing the whole time, and there's just so much different rhythms and sort of guitar like voices that are going on throughout here. The drumming's amazing. I like the vocals, even the little hardcore screams in there throughout there. Mm-hmm. And it's from a scene that I don't know too much about in Maine. I guess there's another band called Molested Senses that's from there, but I still think that this band is a little bit more, or way more unique in that sense. I found these guys when I found Corpse Vomit, and they're both equally as as broad in their scope, but
Yeah.
I think that Corpse Vomit is a little bit more like recognizably metal, where these guys are kind of like, I don't know, it seems like they listen to like a lot of Voivod and like made it into like death metal, but like not in a like progressive as you would expect. It's more visceral than that. But yeah, what'd you guys think of Living Impaired, Blossom and Decay?
Quick note before I forget. I'm looking at the label that they were released under, Body Bag Records. It looks like there's a couple things under there that look interesting. So I think I'm gonna end up checking those out at some point. But I'll let Fred do the honors. He can go ahead and give his opening statement. if he so pleases. Well, I'll let him finish crunching. It's not a big deal.
Well, with that, I'll just read a little bit of from what's inside their thank list on the album. Maybe it'll give us a little bit more insight. It says Soylent Green, Brutal Truth,
Makes sense.
La Menstra, Twitching Slab, Molested Senses, Rare Form, My Own Victim, Flesh Parade, Deceased, Cataclysm, and how Fred pronounces Z, Incantation, Defiled, Abstract Psychology, Slave State, Spider Virus, 12 Ounces, and Enemy Soil. So it's quite a range.
Ever heard of Rare Form? That looks interesting.
I think I heard about them. It's like something called something Pride, right? The album.
No, it's called So Ends Another. It's like death metal from Maine. I don't know what that is. Soylent Green, I don't know how much that makes sense. I think Brutal Truth for sure makes sense. Yeah, I'm calling on you, Freddie.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Paul on this in that I didn't hear anything that kind of blew my mind from a this is something I've never heard before perspective. But I also can't really think of specific influences as I listen to it.
Well, we're on different pages then, because this blew my mind. But
I know, like I dig it. I like it a lot. But it's not. It's weird because I don't think it's super original, but I also can't think of necessarily the influences that it came from.
Yeah,
I think some of the I don't know if it's the riffs or necessarily or the guitar tone. Sometimes it makes me think black metal.
yeah,
But-
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some like chords that they'll pluck or something that's like really weird, or they'll just like they're not even like doing tremolo black metal traditional kind of riffs, but it does give off that vibe at certain points.
Yeah. So that was weird, but the only thing I could think of that kind of made me think of like something similar to this is another American band called Hatred that released an album called The Offering, and that album is pretty cool, and it also like veers into black metal-ish moments here and there, even though it's pretty firmly rooted in death metal. But it's an album that no one's heard, so it's a terrible point of comparison because if no one's heard Living Impaired, they've also definitely never heard Hatred, so I don't know how useful that is.
Yeah, they look like they're around the same time too. 98 was when Blossom and Decay came out, and this is 99.
Yeah, exactly. And the cover to that one is just terrible. It looks like a
Yeah,
still frame.
They look about the same, like art wise.
Yeah.
It's like some demon there, like ripping through something.
Yeah, it looks like a still frame from Doom or something. But
It
Yeah.
does look like Doom.
Yeah, and then there's this one that's really odd.
But yeah, like so that it seems like it fits really well for late 90s death metal. It's like bands that were rooted in death metal kind of started doing things, and you didn't really know what they were, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't.
Yeah.
This is one that worked. The
Yeah.
Offering by Hatred worked,
Cause
but
like,
a lot of bands that didn't really pan out.
yeah, because they didn't go into like brutal death metal or melodic death metal. It was just kind of
Experimentation.
yeah, like you could tell it branched out from like meat and potatoes death metal and kind of
Yeah.
took like a left turn somewhere around the way. But I also wanted to mention the album art for Living Impaired. It kind of reminds me of like a scene from Mad God or something. I don't know if Dan thinks that too, or
Sure,
can see what I'm
sure.
saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It reminded me of the Human Remains cover. With the,
Oh yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that. And it also kind of reminded me of the Swedish Suffer with their like demo with that like face in it.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that. But yeah, it does a little bit like Mad God.
But what do you think, Dan?
At first, like first song was confusing. Didn't quite understand what was going on. I was like, I heard shit that sounded like Rust in Peace, Peace Cells, era Megadeth. Honestly, like they just have like sentimental thrash riffs. Or there was a band that James showed me that does this like weird emo sentimental thing. They were called Bad Yodelers. Kind of, they have little moments like that. There aren't too many bands that do the kind of like mixing of emotive alternative rock with death metal. I mean, we kind of just did one a couple episodes ago, Multiplex, with that one of our second sample. They had a song that I said sounded kind of like an Alice in Chains riff, and this band does have moments like that. If you guys caught any of that kind of stuff, like I really like what Fred said. Like Meat and Potatoes death metal bands start doing stuff, and yeah, that's what this band is doing. It's doing stuff.
Yep.
I didn't hear any. I really didn't equate this with black metal at all when I was listening to this. So that's I guess that's kind of just a difference in what we were hearing or something.
Oh, were you listening to the right album?
Yes. So after the kind of like track one Megadeth riffs are kind of going, I'm thinking maybe this is probably influenced by more groovier, almost like industrial type of death metal, like Eulogy or Banishment or Meat Hook Seed, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then as I kind of listened on, I was like, this sort of reminds me of some types of like Finnish death and roll, like or not like experimental Finnish stuff. Like it actually reminded me of Phlegethon's Fresco Lungs, and then even the other Phlegethon release that's more just like an alternative rock type of thing, or like Godfall, the sound of Robo Groove. I was hearing a little bit of that too, but possibly the first Corpse album from Scotland, who we covered before. I mean, it's sort of. It seems like this band. I didn't hear any the demo before this, but it seems like the root of this band was like thrashy tech death, kind of like Hell Witch and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's like so mid bass too. It's weird.
Yeah. It's like it's thrashy, but yeah, in the mid bass kind of way. I actually looked these guys up. I found their Facebook page where they like have a bunch of old photos and things, and they apparently these guys refer to their sound as futuristic sonic grind, which is kind of interesting because they're actually not that.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's good enough for now. I can get into more stuff after we listen to some samples, but yeah. How about we get into one?
Works for me.
All right.
Which song did you guys want to pick? Mine was number 7.
I think I wanted to do track 5. I kind of wasn't paying attention to the times while I was
Number
listening.
5 is a good one.
I was leaning at 5. Yeah.
Should we do one before? Fred, do you want to do one before that, or after that?
Track 4, right before that's really good too.
Yeah, that one was good.
Okay. So we're
Yeah.
gonna
Okay.
go
I'll do 4.
4, 5, 7.
Neanderman.
Yeah.
Track 4. We'll be right back. we're back from Neanderman.
That song went by quickly.
Yeah, it was like almost 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like it.
Yeah, there was a lot of, throughout this whole album, just instrumental breaks, and I think they have 2 instrumental songs throughout here too, and for me, the only ones I can really sit through instrumentally, in other bands besides this one, is like Argoslant. I can listen to their instrumental songs because they are a little bit, they're interesting to me, because it seems like other ones are like building up to like the next song or something, and it like either could have been included in the song with vocals or not been there at all. But these are kind of like their own unique compositions that are can stand on their own. And I think the musicianship in moments like this during the instrumental passages of these other songs kind of show that they're capable of writing interesting instrumentals. And the song goes through so many different like dynamics. It's like thrashy, has little emotional black metal parts, and then just good old death metal, and almost like a visceral like hardcore too. But what do you guys think of it?
You nailed it with those black metal parts. Like that bit in the middle and the ending riff especially felt very Norwegian black metal.
Yeah, even
like
the vocals there too.
Some of the slower parts of Emperor or like Hades, Norwegian Hades, kind of just like pulled that out of random nowhere and stitched together into that general pastiche of death metal. Was distracting in a good way. And like, where did this come from? This is so bizarre.
Yeah, and there's something to their songwriting where there's some stuff that kind of flows in really well, and then there's points where they'll just like stop for like a measure, and then they'll go right into like a thrash beat, or there won't even be a pause in there, and they'll just have like this thrash riff going on. And there's something about that. It's like I don't think you can really do that in any other sort of genre besides like death metal, where it's welcome how jarring that is.
Yeah, they don't even give you any warning. You're just kind of like, oh, well, I guess this is what we're doing now. All right.
Yeah. But what do you think, Dan?
For the past 2 months, we've covered more weird grind than we have ever before.
No, that's on
We're
me.
still on that kick.
That's on me.
Yeah, we did. Well, I helped a little bit. We did episode 99, the obliteration of humanity, weird grind. Episode 100, I picked obfuscation, weird grind. Then I picked multiplex, weird grind, and now here we are again with living impaired, weird grind.
Yeah, and I had the 2 in there too.
Yeah. I mentioned that was the first one, like a couple months ago. I do see where this is more grind than it is death metal. It doesn't feel that death metal. It feels like yeah, it's experimental. That's it goes without saying. But like this feels like rock and roll mixed with grindcore, or like ultra, like some just rock, really, rock grindcore, and it kind of their name sort of makes sense to me, or at least the like tagline they give themselves, futuristic sonic grind. At that time, all the new types of rock that were coming out, and like death metal is sort of going into weird territories. Like I thought about this sort of right before we went on the show. I was like, oh, this band sort of is doing something similar to Alchemist from
Australia.
I believe. Yeah, and then earlier I was on their Facebook page and I saw that one of the guys is wearing a Exit 13 shirt, which makes sense. Like, and somebody else, I think Fred said Brutal Truth. Those bands make sense because they were both weird, really ambitious grindcore bands. I think they both featured members from, like they shared members or something. At least Dan Lilker, maybe. Yeah, but I feel like this is closer to 90s rock than it is to death metal. Like, yeah, they're like, even that fast part, I said that sounds like a blues part. It's just sped up. Um, it's like those black metal parts to me, they were like shoegazy rather than I didn't really see them as black metal parts. Some of them as rock parts. And I thought of this too. Maybe Paul, this is like you would agree with this, but I sort of would compare this band to like Fudge Tunnel. Like they're not quite like they're metal guys, but they're sort of ready to abandon that.
Yeah,
and
there's
like just be a rock band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if there are still fast parts.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison, and I think in the Reptilian Metal upload of this album, he wrote something saying like the riffs and this is what makes this album really good, and then he was mentioning what was he saying, Godflesh, like sounding like a bit of riffing like that, like Street Cleaner stuff, which is kind of in that same vein of not being really death metal, but death metal guys liking it.
I would not call Godflesh death metal. It doesn't sound like death metal. It's sort of just experimental music, of its time, I would say. I think that this album in particular, like, it feels closer to something like that. It does. It kind of barely feels death metal. Because I remember, Paul, when you mentioned this band, when you first wanted to bring them on, you're like metal, but they're not like any death metal I've ever heard. Yeah,
maybe it's because they're not death metal.
Maybe it is because they're not. I mean, maybe that's the consensus.
It's like the Drake and like Lil Yachty gif where it's like he snaps his head and Drake's like, "Yeah, come on, like you should have got that."
It's one of them though. I mean, all the bands that I mentioned earlier, like Corpse and fucking Phlegathon and I don't think I said Old Lady Drivers, but they're kind of on the same length too. Even maybe Afflicted, because they're kind of grindy, moving away. They're still a death metal band, but they're like definitely experimenting with more kind of rock sensibilities.
Yeah, just like this fusion of like. Go ahead, Fred.
I was gonna say like Nuclear Death when they started spinning off into weirder territories after.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
It's like what's it called? All Creatures Great and Eaten and stuff. Planet or the Planet or whatever the hell it's called.
There were straight up parts on this that reminded me of like the third Disharmonic Orchestra album, the one with the like clock gears on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was like weird rock songs on that too. I remember there was a song called "Where Can I Park My Horse." That was a good title. Where can I park my horse?
But I think that there's that these guys have like a weird fusion of like concocting rhythms between thrash and like bluesy sort of guitars where it's you can't really hear that anywhere else.
Yeah, you noticed that too, right? There are like little blues things scattered throughout the album.
Yeah, and I think the rhythms on here are what I really enjoy the most out of it. Like not only that, but the drumming alongside it, it's just like just as varied and maximalist in that sort of sense where it's not just playing the same beats over, it's kind of evolving with the riffs.
Saying this is super not boring.
Yeah. But I think for it being mid-pace is something of an anomaly for me to like. I usually like really fast stuff or if it's going to be slow, I want it really slow. And the way that these guys keep me interested with something so mid-pace, and it's a testament in my book at least to what they're able to do in a musician type of way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys have any other things you want to mention or?
Nah,
No,
I think we can
on
get
this
to
track.
it. Yeah, not on this track. I think we can get to the next one.
Technicolor Yawn.
Technicolor Yawn.
Yep, that's going to be track 5, and we'll be right back. God damn, that song is so fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
No more just us without justice. No more justice without just cause.
Very good.
Those
See, they're poets too.
I see.
those riffs at like what was it near the middle part just sounded like the weird, more death and roll finish riffs that you'd get from like
It was like, yeah, dum
Dis-
dum dum dum.
yeah, Disgrace or Lubricant
It's
or
not
something.
impossible that these guys were listening to that stuff. It's late enough.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I don't know if it was intentional for them to recreate it here, but it certainly felt that way.
Yeah.
And either way, if they didn't, it's like some of that like blues influence they hear on their other riffs as well. Like
Yeah,
that's sort of where that style came from as well.
Well, it's like
Yeah,
blues in a
definitely
way
felt
that's
bluesy.
not lame.
Yeah.
Because a lot of because I can't stand blues sometimes, but like when it's done in a way where you don't think of it that way.
Yeah, it's
And
like
you just
blues
gotta think
groove
about
in that sense, like more rhythm based.
Sure. Okay.
And
yeah. When it's done in a way you don't want to throw yourself off a cliff.
like the guy, the guitarist on here, like I was gonna mention, it seems like these guys, this was like one of their like first bands that they're doing something in, because I was kind of interested in like where did they come up with this sound and like musicianship from this, but they're like doing this since '93, and the only notable person that had past bands and bands after this was the guitarist, which is where all these crazy riffs are coming from. So it kind of makes sense. There's he's in like other bands. One along the same time. It was called Abstract Psychology. That's like a death thrash from '95, and then there's one Fred might know, of the Fallen. I think they're on Wild Rags.
Oh yeah,
They're like symphonic black metal. or
yeah.
something.
This album's awesome. I remember this. I've been looking for a copy of this stupid thing. It's on my want list.
I don't think he played on the album, but he played like on the demos. I think after like '99, 2000,
Sure, but that album's great.
and then he plays in a progressive band.
Oh, I do remember. I remember this shit too. I heard this like not that long ago.
I think I shared
Nowadays.
this into the chat.
You might have.
And
Yeah, 'cause
also,
I've heard this.
this guy played live with Nasty Savage too. So there's all that
Okay.
thrash.
Intriguing.
But yeah, what do you guys think of that song in particular, Dan?
That one in particular is super like. It's kind of got the dissonant like hard. Like I imagine this song is like influenced by like hardcore punk or something, but sort of just taken into a way that's like, oh, we're gonna make this as dissonant as possible. I think the better example of this was on track 8. I don't think we're gonna get to it. It was called like Machines or something. What was that song called? Of the Machines? No, Ride the Machine. That one sounded super like Pantera-ish, where this one sounded more like. It's actually kind of hard to pinpoint this one in particular. When we were talking, you were like, oh, it's like progressive, but not in the Mastodon way. And I'm like, oh, Mastodon doesn't exist. I guess Lethargy Lethargy existed at the time. I think that was like as close as you're gonna get to something like this. I think that might be a little bit more fast paced and moving. I can't exactly remember, but and I said earlier that this stuff is kind of like nocturnal or like Hell Witch-ish. I think it's more. It's on that sense, it's closer to the death metal stuff. Say like Embryonic Death or like Psychosis from New York or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's definitely on that like. Okay, if Lethargy, Embryonic Death, and Psychosis are like jazzy, or like Nomicon or something, if they're like jazzy, then this is like either either rock or like I don't. It's hard to pinpoint like where this song in particular is coming from. But it doesn't feel jazzy, even though it's got like kind of the same DNA as something like Embryonic Death.
Yeah, and I think what we were saying was a lot of those dissonant riffs in the like tech death or no tech thrash albums and bands, they play it particularly fast, but these guys kind of make you stew in that because they play them in such a mid-paced way and tempo, and it really just like weighs down on you.
Was this song slightly more like Obscura Gorguts, or am I kind of reaching?
I could definitely hear that because there's some songs.
That one's hard to pinpoint too.
Yeah, well that's just Purulence and Scott
Yeah.
that brought all that sound. But
Steve.
oh yeah, Steve, not Scott. But yeah, yeah. There's a song in particular. Now that you mention it, it goes dun 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 in Obscura that is kind of like the main riff in this song that we just heard. That's a good comparison. Good thing to bring up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I've said what I can about this song. That's what I actually like about this. All of them have their different moments, like different eccentricities. This one was like the most kind of bizarre, circusy, kind of dizzying song. And the other one was a little bit more. It was slow, but there was still like thrashing parts that were kind of interesting.
It was kind of circusy now that you mention it.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I mean, I don't love sound, but it worked for this for the most part for me.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, do you guys want to get into the last song?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, this one's coming right after the instrumental. This one's called Sinator, the 7th song. And we'll be right back. back from Senator.
I think after listening to it and realizing how many times I'm saying to myself, "Fuck, this is great," that might be my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, it's better than the rest. I think that's like a real highlight for me.
There's so many, like, for lack of a better term, groovy sections on there that just like fucking blow your mind.
Yeah, I like all
Awesome.
the changes in here.
Yeah.
Even right up to the end, it's like dun 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 dun. But
Yeah, no, these guys weren't afraid of like just doing whatever the fuck came to mind.
yeah. But what do you think of it, Dan?
I like the first like minute of that song the most, where it kind of starts off sounding like
Death
I said
metal.
it sounded like Time Ghoul. Yeah, like death metal. Well, not the Time Ghoul part didn't come till later. It's like bam 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 bam, or like caducity or something.
Mm.
But yeah, pretty interesting like first riff. That's kind of like the most normal riff that they have, and then into the like Time Ghoulish caducity voivod stuff, and then they kind of just stick on that like groovy, like I don't even know how to describe it, like almost bar rock. But it's like don't or something like that. Um, I guess that's maybe my only gripe is that that section kind of repeats too many times for my liking.
Hmm.
I feel like that could have gone other places and it kind of stuck with that groove a little too long for me. But still a cool song. It's still interesting. I mean, the way that they kind of go, I feel like the two genre experiments kind of work there. It's like okay, weird techie death metal and weird experimental rock music. That sort of works together just because I don't know if it's just because they're like two types of experimental music or it's just the death metal merging with that style feels right. Like Afflicted feels right. Even something like we talked about Gorguts for like a second. It all kind of I feel like it works for a reason. There's all the bands that you can think of that are doing this like experimentation thing are all big. Besides like this one, and I would say honestly, I don't know if Paul or Fred, you totally agreed with me when I said this is probably like super close to disharmonic orchestra. I still hear that, and I still.
I think at times I hear it, not the whole way through, but
Not the whole way through, but like a good majority of the grooves are like that. Like well, I guess like the first three albums, I don't really know what Disharmonic Orchestra did after that, but yeah, I very much feel that spirit in this band. They got big fat bass in it too.
Yeah, I think that still after listening to it, I'm very confused uh, and don't know where this comes from and where I know where these guys went, which is not in a particularly good direction because they reformed in like 2013
Uh-huh.
and they kind of lost the death metal vocals and kind of went more into that experimental rock via metal, you know, sound,
Yeah.
which isn't particularly something I liked, but whatever they had here was like a great mixture of what I wanted to hear. And I got to check out those bands that you mentioned, like Hatred, and just see what if it's comparable. Because when I found this, it was just something so intriguing to me that I was unable to go like a week without listening to it. Like I was just listening to it over and over. Bought a CD, and yeah, it's kind of an obsession of mine because. What I take away from this the most is the rhythms on here and the fusion between like experimental rock and tech thrash played at such a mid-paced level and having the drums go along with it and be alive and evolve along with the riffs, as well as like the songwriting either being led in by transitions or just leaving you in the dust waiting for you to catch up with their rapid changes and stuff. But it seems like if I wish I would be able to see them. They seem like a band that would just play like in bars.
Yeah.
And you would just it's like a bar death metal band that from what I see people talk about in the comments, the total of 3 of them, they're like, oh yeah, this is one of the best bands in Maine, along with Molested Senses, and that they never really got big, but they they should have and stuff. So I don't know if that's just people being from the hometown and wanting that support, or it's genuine, because on my end it is just genuine from like an outsider that this is like really top tier shit for me, at least in the way that it's unique. And I'll
It's a
still
piece of the puzzle of
Yeah.
weird death grind.
I'll still be puzzled by it. I don't know if I'll ever figure this one out, but I don't think I'm supposed
I
to.
think you figured it out. Technical death thrash mixed with like alt rock or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of works.
That's not the totality of it, but that's a good majority of it.
Yeah, it's the bulk.
Yeah, definitely.
And such a weird name too, Living Impaired.
Yeah,
It's very tongue in cheek.
Yeah. It's like, why couldn't you just be maimed? But that's just already another band, I guess.
Just
Yeah.
call themselves X Living.
But final thoughts on this for you guys?
I feel like this is, I right as of now, I think this is pretty good.
Dan never likes my picks. Just kidding.
Yes, I do. I think it's pretty good. I don't know how often I would come back to this, just because there are other experimental death metal things that I like better, and that's possibly because like I heard other things before. I feel like there was a time where this was my shit, where weird, rocky death metal was like it for me. Maybe like a little over 10 years ago, maybe like 2013 era. I feel like I definitely would have been bumping this a lot. It's just one of those. There's not too many bands like this, but there are at least a couple. No, I was gonna say one. There's at least a couple handfuls of them. It's not the most original thing, but it's also not the most. It's definitely not common, and I appreciate when I can hear stuff like this. So, yeah, thank you, Paulie. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's pretty good. I dig it.
Freddie?
This just comes from that era of death metal that I love. The late 90s got such a rap for all the big bands kind of veering off course into weird territories that didn't always pan out. But the smaller bands kind of just pulled everything into their sound and just came up with really weird left field shit. And
They were way more way more metal about it, way more true about it.
Yeah.
Like worked sound wise.
And like I've stumbled across so many great bands from that era that kind of just existed like a flash in the pan and kind of vanished after, but left some weird shit behind that's great. And some is more original than others. This one is a bit more on the original scale, I'd say. But I love this about that era. It's such a box of chocolates of death metal. Like these guys, Hatred, like what else have I come across? Prohibitory, shit like that just never gets mentioned because it's like people are afraid to go into that into those years of death metal. But
It's scary, man. No.
I mean, some of it is, but like I think Wild Rag's later roster, it's kind of like, just exemplifies it for me. There's so much weird stuff on there that I just love listening to. But I digress. Like, this album is fantastic.
Bands don't get weird anymore. They just like go to space.
Yeah,
going to space is being weird now.
That or they're just old school death metal.
Yeah, no bands are actually weird anymore. Like, there are no heavy, weird, metal-ish bands. It kind of just doesn't exist anymore. All you have is like stuff that's mixed with hardcore, and it sucks. And the aesthetic is
for death metal, I'd say that's true. Black metal, I think, has been a bit of a weird state right now, where there's a bit more variety, for better or worse, but it's there. Death metal feels a bit stagnant lately. That Morbific album that I mentioned is
Fred's gonna
fantastic.
Have to Brutal Death.
Oh Lord. But yeah, that Morbific album is really good. It's something super original, but they pulled it off really well. So I was happy to hear it and pick it up. But you don't see bands just doing this sort of thing anymore. You're totally right about that.
I think I'm just gonna pick just brutal death metal for the rest of the show to get all that new old school death metal out of Fred's ass.
Out of his rear end. I think I'll also be choosing nothing but brutal death and gore grind to also blow the classical metal out of Fred's quote unquote rear end. Proverbial rear end.
This isn't gonna go well.
The rest of the show is just that.
Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna have to bring back. I'm gonna have to bring back. That sucked.
So is this a case closed on Weird Grind? I feel like we've really we opened a book, and we've kind of been stuck in there for a little bit. Not stuck, but we've been exploring the Weird Grind. I feel like we've picked up a lot of pieces here and figured some stuff out possibly.
It's a nice way of saying I'll pick something else.
I'm half joking.
Enough of this.
I'll pick some black metal next week or next time.
Pick whatever you want. Pick more Weird Grind. We can keep this going.
I might be picking black metal next. We'll see.
What'd you say, Fred?
I might pick some black metal next. We'll see.
Okay.
Not in my list of potential picks, I don't have any grind. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you sent that fucking what do you call it? Intense Agonizing. I kind of wanted to cover that at some point, and then I decided not to. I wanted Multiplex instead. I'm like, Multiplex is better than Intense Agonizing.
But yeah. You got anything else, or we're done?
We're done. I wanted to ask you guys.
All right, bye, pigs.
Yeah, bye, pigs.
Doodles.
Now I